Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today, our guest is Palash, the co-founder and CEO at Goldcast. Hello.
Hi, Christian. Excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining our podcast. At first, please tell us what your company does.
Yeah, Goldcast is a video campaign platform. We help B2B marketers create, amplify, and distribute video content. So companies like Zscaler, Intuit, etc., they use our product to do events, webinars, podcasts, take that content, turn into other type of content that can be distributed across the customer buying journey.
What would you say is the biggest problem that you solve for marketers or for
Yeah,
companies?
the biggest problem that we solve for marketers is we give one consolidated platform to allow them to do video across the buying journey. So not just one place, but across the buying journey at a very high quality and speed. Right now, video tools are very distributed. They are very cumbersome to work with them, and they're not meant for like the base marketer who works in text mostly. So we allow them to use video.
And is there a specific industry that you focus on, or who is it for? Who would you say the product is mostly aimed to?
Yeah, the product is mostly aimed at B2B marketers,
Okay.
typically companies more than 100 employees. That's where
Mm-hmm.
we start becoming relevant. Mostly, like the primary persona is B2B tech companies, and there's financial service, insurance, legal, accounting, manufacturing. Those are other verticals, but same
Right.
B2B motion.
Right. Absolutely. Good target. How about the features of the product? What would you say are the most loved and used features?
Oh, yeah. So we have a very expansive product. It's by design built to have a very huge surface area because we wanted to consolidate a lot of things. So some things that people really love about Goldcast on the digital events webinar side is that we automate a lot of like the calendar invite stuff. It sounds easy, but it increases the attendance rate of events webinars. We have very strong branding. So if you attend a GitHub event or an Adobe event, it will look like them instead of Goldcast. So very strong branding, very strong integrations. And then the thing that people love about the product right now is the AI content lab aspect,
Okay.
which is our product to take one or more videos, long form videos, and turn them into short form clips or blog posts with videos. So it's AI, but with a very specific use case for B2B marketers.
That's amazing. Can you share any success stories that of your customers and how exactly you help them, just for the audience to understand more about the product?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So one of our customers is ClickUp, right? ClickUp,
Amazing.
I think everyone knows, and then they do a lot of things with our product, but one specific example is they do this large virtual conference every year in around this time of the year, and so they do that on Goldcast, get a lot of engagement end to end. They do it on our product, and then they use that content, which is around, I would say, 15 hours of
Wow.
videos, and then use it across different places. For example, recently they wrote a blog on best practices on project management, in which they generated that from Goldcast. They were video clips from different videos and text based on transcript that we facilitate. So that's an example. Like they use that same content to generate clips and email takeaways for SDRs. So they really use that content across the year, which makes the ROI of a digital event very high.
No, that's amazing. I just came from a conference in Amsterdam where I met Chris, one of the founding members at ClickUp, and he explained to me how much video helps nowadays, and it's amazing
Yeah.
that he uses Goldcast.
Thank you. Another like conference related use cases, though we partner with Marketing AI conference that happens in Cleveland here, and they record everything real time that happens in person, and then they post clips within that day on social media, and also get like takeaways that are put in the event app, so anyone can look at session notes just after the session in like an hour after the session.
Ah, wow, that's amazing. We may also use that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. How about the pricing? How does it work?
Yeah, so we have multiple pricing tiers. The lowest one is where you can just use Content Lab, so you can upload your content and repurpose it using Goldcast. That starts at like $2,000 annually and has a very generous usage tier, and it's also free trial, so you can try it for free. There's a quota every month that you can use, so there's a very generous free trial. And from here all the way up to enterprise plans that start at $65,000-$70,000. and the feature set varies between
Yeah,
each tier.
absolutely. How about the market? Um, how is Goldcast different than the competitors? How is the market of video growing in B2B as well? Because this is a big topic nowadays. I love to hear your take.
Yes. So we are lucky in the market sense that all of the stuff that's happening on AI does impact video a lot, and there are use cases that can be done today, right? And the one good thing with what we are operating in the area we are operating is it does not need like very high accuracy because creative work, right? So the AI currently is very well suited to do all of that. In terms of market, like how we are different is that we are a consolidated platform. So right now, for example, there are point solutions in each of these areas. So you can create events, webinars on Zoom also, but then it's very hard to do anything with that after. You can edit stuff on Descript, but then you lose a lot of context that comes in creation. You lose workflow. You have to upload, download. There's so much pain in that. So we provide one consolidated platform, and we are the only player which does that. And there's a workflow advantage, but there's also an AI advantage because we know everything right from who the speaker was, who the attendees were, all the way up to like when the video was hosted on your website, like what were the views and what was the engagement, where the engagement was. So we can use that to generate much better outputs than anyone else.
What is the story of the company? What was the idea behind it? I love to know the founding story.
Yeah, Christians, we are three co-founders. We were all like two of us were immigrants, first time in the United States. We came for business school in Boston at Harvard Business School, and that's where we met our third co-founder. Um, and the three of us had always wanted to start a startup. That's why we came to business school, which is not the reason why people come to B school. So that's why we were very close, and
Yes.
we were exploring ideas and events. And when COVID hit, it became apparent that digital events will be a thing, right? Everyone wants them. But we started thinking, what is that one slice of the market which is going to be resilient and sustainable, and where you can provide measurability? And that's how we settled on B2B marketing use cases. And that's how essentially the company started. So very opportunistic bet, but the focus was something that we got right.
Is Goldcast the first company that you started, first job, first place of work?
No, actually not. I had one previous startup attempt that I did for 9 months and it failed. I made like so many stupid mistakes. And this is my third job. So to say, I did two jobs, one in manufacturing before. So I was managing a factory. So it was a technical job, but in a very like hardware setting. And then the
Hmm.
second one was in an advertising technology company where I was first in customer success and then in product management.
Amazing, amazing. How big is the team right now?
We have 125 folks, and 80 of them are in India and 45 in the US.
Okay, and so you scaled pretty fast. Did you raise any funding? What's the story there?
Yeah, we have raised three rounds of funding, a 1.5 million seed round, then a 10 million, sorry, pre-seed, and then 10 million seed, and then a Series A of 28.5 million. It's 40 in total.
How did you find your first customers?
That's a great question. Honestly, it's like a almost a story, and I'll be brief about it. But our first actual like big customer was this company called Drift, which is in Boston, a big
Okay,
martech
yes,
company.
yes.
And we were at that time struggling to find customers, so we asked one of our investors here to just do an event on the platform, and they invited David Cancel, the CEO, to speak. And once he spoke at the virtual conference, he saw the product. He was like, "This looks great." But he didn't do anything. We had to chase him, send him like 10 emails, and he responded to the 10th email. And then he connected
Really?
us to the marketing team. And that's
Wow.
how we got our first customer, which was Drift. And because Drift is a MarTech company, all of their attendees of their events are marketers. That sort of started a flywheel that helped us grow.
Ah, that's super interesting. And today, what do you say is the most successful go-to-market strategies that you use?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are three things broadly that work for us. One is our own events and community motion. So because we are a digital events company at heart, right? That's how we started. Um, we run a lot of them, and over time we have built a good community around it. We have an actual community called Event Marketers Club, so both the digital events and community speak together, and it created a very good sort of brand recognition for us. So there are people who have been coming to our events for 3 years, and then when they get to a company where they can actually buy Goldcast, they look at us. So that's one. Second is just a lot of word of mouth, and we specifically invest a lot in customer success, customer support, a lot more than industry average. And we sort of treat it as CAC because we want people to have very good experience and then recommend us. And the third is outbound, but the general outbound does not work for us. What works is the founders doing outbound. So one of my co-founders, Kishore, he does a lot of outbound of his own, and it works.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this. I think it's amazing. And did you had any viral loop, a growth hack, like the one that you mentioned, to do events with marketers, and then I think you had a flying wheel.
Yeah, the flywheel that actually works for us is because the product has visibility outside, right? If so, for example, if you are doing an event, everyone of your audience will see that it's Goldcast. That creates a fair amount of virality. So a lot of our early customers were marketing technology companies like Six Sense, Drift, all of them. And when they do events, people see it, and that creates a viral loop.
That's amazing. Super smart.
Yeah.
Super smart. How about the biggest challenge that you faced in the company since you started?
Uh, uh, so
Probably so
one,
many, but something that you
so
can
many.
share,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
lessons
yeah, yeah.
learned, mistakes that you can share, anything that
Absolutely,
you think.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things that we changed in the company that was also a challenge was, and we are still going through it, is that we were born as a digital events product, and that is what we did for the first 2.5 3 years of the company. Then we realized that that in and of itself is not a big enough category for us to grow at this rate that we are growing. So we made the hard, complex decision of becoming multi-product, which means not just one product, but like multiple products. We have right now what you would call 4 products. They all are part
Okay.
of a platform, so you like they're very well connected. But there are 4 products competing in 4 different markets, and that was very challenging as a decision because typically I know a lot of founders that you speak with, they would say that you do your second product at like 20-30 million ARR, and we did it much before, right? And also there was obviously our teams were pushing back against that because it's very risky to do it. So that like whole change management of convincing everyone and then moving through that was a pretty big challenge and learning experience, and we are still going through it because the other secondary challenge it presents is that it needs repositioning in the minds of customers. We already have 200-300 customers who think of us as an events platform, and now we are talking about video content platform, and that creates its own like unique challenges of how do we reposition ourselves in the mind of our customers first, so that then they
Right.
can talk about Goldcast in different light.
But it's a fun journey. And I'm curious about the
Yes.
vision for the future. You've done so much already, and I think you are really appreciated in the Martech space.
Thank
What's
you.
your vision as the CEO of the company?
Yeah, so our vision, at least for Goldcast, is that we wanted to see it in the hands of every marketing team. That's where we want to get to, and we think we are onto something because the need to do video has always been there, but I think we are bringing a unique set of skills and products and understanding to make it really happen in a way that hasn't happened before, and will probably this is the right time to do it. So ultimately, I would want to see it in the hands of all like 50,000 companies that lie in our sphere.
Amazing. I totally support that, and I'm super happy for you. I think you're building something amazing. And now
Thank
I
you.
love to know your story, your background, how you started your career, basically, and after that, your best piece of advice for somebody looking to start their first startup to become a founder right after college, let's say, or even before.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Christian, I was born in India and brought up in central India in a very small town. So I spent most of my life in India. and I did engineering in undergrad. And I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but like there was no startup scene in India, so to say, in like 2010, right, when I was in college. So I did my first job in manufacturing, learned a lot about that, and learned about marketing because it was a CPG company, right, like Unilever or Procter and Gamble, those kinds. And I realized that marketing is what drives these companies. So that's why I joined the advertising technology company, because it was at the intersection of tech and marketing.
Right.
um, and so yeah, that's how I got started. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur since I can remember. uh, and for anyone looking to start a company, this is one learning that I have also had, is that I always used to think that you can create markets or do whatever as a founder. But I think the real thing is that markets are complex and you cannot fight them. So the biggest determinant of success for a startup is the market that they choose. um, Everyone says team and everyone says idea. Whatever, idea is important, but like what market is it in is very, very important. Even if there's a lousy team going after a great market, they will win. If there's a great team going after a lousy market, the market will crush them. So think very hard about the market that you are picking to go after. That probably determines like 70% of your success.
I saw a post. I don't know if it's a myth or if it's real. I saw a post that most VCs invest into team, not so much into market, and there is only one VC that invests into market, doesn't care about team, doesn't care about anything, just market. And that VC, I don't know which one, but it's one of the most successful one and known ones. You
That
probably,
could be
yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah. I saw it recently on LinkedIn, but makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to be realistic.
Yes.
What did you say to a starting entrepreneur to actually do? How to find this market?
Find the market. Yeah, that's a great question, Christian. I think there's a lot that can be learned from the history of the market itself, and so if there's a market that is particularly attractive to someone, um, you should spend a significant amount of time just learning about the history and answering the question, why now, why this idea is important now, and why was it not done before, and look at like who has attempted something similar, because there's very rarely something that has not been attempted, and then try to talk to them and just understand the shape of the market. Um, and the other thing I would say is that before even deciding if a market is good or if an idea is good, like you try to talk to people who are actually going to be your buyers or customers. That itself gives so much. And I know everyone says that, but I know a lot of founders who have a hypothesis of the market, and then they make up their mind to go into the market and then talk to the customers, and then it's very hard to unwind from there, because you are attached emotionally to the idea or the market.
Great advice. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for this. What are your favorite tools that you use? Your favorite software products? Your favorite SaaS? And then recommend to other people.
Ah,
But apart from Goldcast.
yeah, absolutely. So there are three things that I'm a big fan of right now. One is Notion. Obviously, I work out of Notion day in day out. I really really love that. They are also a customer of ours. Then the second one is Superhuman. I always resisted it. I always thought that it's a vanity product, but it is worth it. And the third is this product called, which I guess most people would not know, called Wavebox. It's a browser of sorts where you can put all your apps on a sidebar, and it helps avoid the tab bloat that happens on Chrome when you're working. You have hundreds of tabs. That just creates a lot of dysfunction and anxiety too when you look at that. So I use Wavebox to organize my daily work, and I really love it.
Yeah, those are my main questions. I'm super grateful that you joined our podcast. I like your energy, your positivity, and you have so many insights. I appreciate your journey. And yeah, if there's anything else that you want to share, this would be the moment. But if not, thank you so much.
Thanks, Christian. Yeah, if anyone wants to reach out, I'm very active on LinkedIn, so please add me, message me, and check Goldcast.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Awesome. Thank you, Christian. Thanks a lot.